Japanese negotiators have joined the Trans-Pacific Partnership talks in Malaysia this week, Andy, swelling the ranks of free trade negotiating countries to 12. First off, big picture, isn't this supposed to be the domain of the WTO here? Why is the TPP the new venue for free trade talks?
Well, yes, the first best option any day would be to get a trade deal done at the WTO level. But as you know, WTO has 159 members and they can only agree to disagree, which is what they have been doing with the Doha round for the last 12 years. And there is really no hope for a WTO agreement, a fresh WTO agreement on trade until at least 2020. But it is time to move the global commerce agenda forward, and this is what TPP does.
All right, with Japan stepping in here now, what does this mean for the auto sector, for example?
Yes, auto sector. Well, the big three U.S. automakers sell fewer cars in a year in Japan than Japanese automakers sell in the United States in a day. So Detroit will look for some concessions on the non-tariff barriers on the protected Japanese auto market, but that is not going to move the needle on the U.S. current account deficit with Japan. And of course, although a Ford Fiesta sells for $10,000 more in Japan than it does in the United States, given a weak yen, it's not that American car manufacturers are suddenly going to become very much more competitive in Japan, even if the trade barriers there were to come down.
Well, let's bring in the yen there. You know, we hear a lot of grumblings from the U.S. about currency manipulation and how that might be brought in via a clause in TPP. But is that a realistic scenario, do you think?
No, that's not at all a realistic scenario because remember, there is nothing different that Japan has done here, different from what the United States has done. And Japanese position vis-a-vis the currency is that they are not seeking a weaker yen for mercantile reasons. They are only trying to reflate their deflated economy, and that is something that the American side totally understands.
Right. Now, the BRICs are sitting this round out so far. Does that diminish the value of the TPP trading bloc, or is it really giving these early entrants a chance to set the rules of trade, as it were, Andy?
The latter explanation is actually the correct one because, yes, US and Japan are writing the rules for 21st century commerce, and they are going to be doing it via the TPP. Now, the BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, well, like it or not, they will have to play by those rules. And these rules will include rules on what state-owned enterprises can or cannot do, what governments can do with their own procurements, that is government tenders, what standards should be like, what kind of intellectual property foreign investors should enjoy. So TPP is going to probably set benchmarks for 21st century global commerce, and BRIC nations will have to play by those rules.
Very interesting. Many thanks to Breakingviews' Andy Mukherjee.